multinationals that were going to compete. They said, this madman in Pune, this is the statement they made in a public forum, we cannot compete with him, so we decided to walk out of the vaccine business in India.
Having seen the world, the way you've built business over the last so many years, what would your advice to Cyrus, which would be an advice to every young generation and entrepreneur here?
B, we should be very, very philanthropic and kind-hearted to the staff. Because of that, they will carry you to any limit in time of crisis. And I hope that he carries on the legacy that I've built up.
So, Doctor, I don't think you can see the screen, but I'll read the screen. We've named this fireside chat as a lifetime saving lifetimes. So I hope you understood the play here. So I've known you for 13 years, and it is such an honor to have known you, and in many ways. Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I think you can speak. I think it's all good. Known you many years. Sometimes selfish to say that, to sometimes mentored by you as well many times whenever I'm stuck in some difficult decisions. For everyone in this room, is there anything that we do not know about how you've started, which you haven't spoken to anyone and which you would like to share today?
First of all, I'm over with the flattering video which you made. I didn't know about it, and I thank you for it, and I really appreciate the accolades that were bestowed upon me in that video. I came obviously from a horse breeding family which had no future in a socialist country like India, and I was always looking at some aspect of a business which would deal with the masses, which would have a touch of philanthropy, which came from both sides of my family, and which is engraved in my blood, and which we'll talk about later on. And so this idea came to my father by a veterinary surgeon at our farm, that since you've got these discarded horses that you're giving away to Afghan Institute, why don't you put up a small plant, process plant, and manufacture this much needed life-saving drugs like anti-venom, snake venom serum, tetanus, and so on and so forth. And therefore, I already had many other ideas which I gave up, and we adopted this, which has now obviously turned out to be a blockbuster product, and made the Serum Institute of India. We called it Serum Institute. Actually, it was a very small scale industry. Started with the help of my father for capital of only 5 lakhs. But I had thought of giving it a big name, which now the government of India says that you've lost count of India and you've gone globally, and so keep us in mind by giving affordable vaccines to the poor children who can't afford to pay, like all the multinationals are charging a leg and an arm for.
So I was talking to your team today, and they were saying if you were to charge the prices that were charged by your peers, your revenue would be at least 3 to 4 times more than the current revenue.
Yes, at least double, I could say, definitely, and my personal wealth would have been at least 3 times, probably 50 billion or even more, had I followed that commercial attitude that most other companies are. One of the reasons why I haven't gone listed is because I could be philanthropic and there would be nobody. Why I'm charging less than what I should charge. In a publicly limited company, you can't do that. You're answerable to your share. Here, I was asked this question when I launched hepatitis vaccine at 27th dose by the press and a big public audience at that time. And they said, how are you able to get away with this? And my son was quite young that time, and I said, he's the only person who can question me about. So that's how the philosophy of the company is even till today extended, and it has had a upside also. I mean, to be honest with you, it is not only the philanthropy and all that has helped me. The upside was that the multinationals that were going to compete, they said, this madman in Pune, this is the statement they made in a public forum, we cannot compete with him, so we decided to walk out of the vaccine business in India.
Doctor, see, we've had many conversations on phone, and many a times you pick up the phone and we discuss about markets and investing. And you are such a shrewd analyzer of markets and what's happening, and we exchange ideas and everything, right? And even one day we saw an ad in one of the newspapers, and I was at your home, and you said there's this company called Patyam, and you were referring to Paytm. So you're always enthusiastic about what's going on in the market, what are the new companies. What is that thing that keeps you excited about what's going on in the world and investing? We discuss right from investing in tech companies to commodities and everything we've discussed, right? So even the gold, we have discussed on gold prices as well, right? So how do you just keep up to what's happening?
Well, it's more of a pleasure to diverse the profits that we made into, apart from philanthropy, into different type of startups and also to companies that are growing, because we are giving very little dividend. So what do we do with the surplus cash? It has to be parked very shrewdly and not in a way in which it can be just squandered away. And that is why it gave me the appetite to look at what my peers are doing. Yeah. Maybe I can learn a few things from them also, which I have, and to implement them in life.
And we talked about philanthropy. It is people very often look at you as one of the top 3 richest people in India. But the philanthropy side is quite exciting. I must say, Nagma is here of Edelgift, the CEO is here. We put out the philanthropy list every year. And consistently, you've been in the top 10 since the inception of the list. I mean, how do you look at philanthropy, and what is philanthropy to you?
It gives me a great sense of satisfaction. Many people are donating money to have mileage out of that. But as I said earlier, when I started, we came from a philanthropic family, and the love of donating part of my wealth and part of my success gives me more pleasure than anything else that has happened in my life. And the more older I'm getting, the more I want to give away, and is sort of a part of the lesson that I've learned from Bill Gates, who I think is one of the greatest philanthropists of our age. And of course, my family will never allow me to give away what he is doing, almost half or 3/4 of his wealth. But whatever I feel are challenging issues like supporting rape victims, leprosy, and education, of course, where there are many others who are doing it. And this gives me a great sense of satisfaction. We make what I've earned, I try to give back, and I'm sure that I'll be blessed, if I am at all, for some of my harsh language which I use against some people who I criticize. So I think it's a very great feeling. I can't explain or share that, if generally people give their 2% of their CSR money, that's because they're forced to give it by law. Here we are giving much, much more, maybe 10 times more than our CSR quota, out of even so much out of my own dividends or my own wealth to even my Parsi community, which I can't give as CSR, I give it for my own wealth to the far temples, priests, and other privileged people. Every day I get appeals from people who are suffering from various incurable diseases, so help them to live, and that gives me a great satisfaction.
Last question. I think Cyrus is here. Grandson Cyrus is here. uh, what would your advice to Cyrus be in terms of how we should look at the future? Because we live in a world with so much chaos, wars, and so much confusion, chaos, and you're getting into a very interesting, disruptive sort of environment, right? Having seen the world, the way you've built business over the last so many years, what would your advice to Cyrus, which would be an advice to every young generation and entrepreneur here?
Well, the first advice I have given him is what I did with my son to bring him out after an early age to start involved in the business. So he's also accepted the idea that by the time he's 21, like my son Adar was, and I was 22 when I thought of building Serum, we get out. If you go for a longer master's degree and all that, you become very technical. So that's the first advice I gave him. He's already involved in the company's business. The second thing is that I told him that he should have a human touch, especially with gaining confidence of the staff. Because the entire staff, if they love you, and they, like I'm already getting reports that they're looking forward to him coming back from Eton and Oxford at an early age and get involved. It's a very important thing, which you asked me, that an entrepreneur, he can be focused in his business, not try to get diversified and get diluted. A. B. He should be very, very philanthropic and kind-hearted to the staff. Because of that, they will carry you to any limit in time of crisis. And I hope that he carries on the legacy that I've built up.
100%. Doctor, thank you very much for your time today.